Hello and welcome to today's training. My name is Henry. Please do well to follow, like, and turn on your notification bell so that you can see and be well informed about all the new updates and what is happening in the world of SAP procurement, supply chain, logistics, P2P cycle. In today's training, we're going to be learning how we can create an indirect material procurement from start to the finish. And now the first thing I would like to share, which is very important for SAP consultants to be knowledgeable about, will be the account assignment. If you're going to be creating an indirect material procurement, you need to have a very good understanding of your account assignments. And as per the standard SAP, there are a list of account assignment that has already been documented. So as you can see, there are different types and different account assignment categories. Interesting thing is we cannot change the account assignment categories. However, we can change the description of the account assignment categories, okay? And during the interview, you're going to be asked about some of these account assignment categories and what their importance is. So I'm going to make it very sweet and short. The reason why businesses will use account assignment categories is mainly for indirect material procurement, okay? And in my experience, I've seen businesses use the K, account assignment category, which is the cost center, the P, which is for project. These are all very important for you to have a good understanding of. The Q, the S, okay? And I'll take my time to go over some of these ones. I'm gonna show you guys. I'll make individual videos on how you can create an indirect material procurement or a purchase order with account assignment category K, P, Q, S. Okay. And if any other one comes to mind, like the F, we will come back and also look into it. So today we're going to focus on this particular recording for the K. So the K has to do with cost center. And if you do not know what cost center is, in my other session when I was creating cost center could be very helpful for you to see, but more so cost center has to do with the controlling management of SAP, okay? So we have the finance and controlling. So the controlling management is where you come across cost center, okay? In this day and time in SAP, ECC and SAP S/4HANA, a lot of transactions, especially for indirect material procurement, has to be posted directly to a cost center. And we're going to be looking into that, but more so from an account assignment category perspective, the K indicator is for cost center. And this has some detailed information that's already been defined as per SAP. If you're working for any organization and they're needing an account assignment category configuration, I would say do not make those configurations directly into the standard template SAP has provided. You can always click the copy as to copy from this account assignment category to create another one. Then you can now begin to make certain changes on all this detailed information. In a nutshell, don't try to check boxes and uncheck boxes, especially when you do not really know what it does. All of this is very relevant for the consumption posting. But anyway, here you can see consumption posting V has been set, account modification, VBR has been set, the distribution 1, partial invoice 2, and the account assignment screen 1 for single account assignment has also been selected. Very importantly, you can see that the goods received has been checked. The goods received indicator firm has not been checked. And basically that means that if you create a purchase order and choose not to create a goods received as a follow-on document, the SAP system is not going to give you a hard stop or an error message because the goods received indicator firm is also not checked. Okay, so this is giving you an option of either creating a goods receipt or not. But if this was checked like this, it would mean that it is mandatory that you must create a goods receipt. But since it's not checked, it's not mandatory. Similarly, you can see that the goods received is non-valuated. Okay, that basically means that the stock will not be received because stocks are valuated into the SAP system, especially when you're creating like a raw material, a finished product, a semi-finished product, a trading goods. all of those are evaluated stock. But in this scenario, since the stock will be posted directly into consumption posting, it means the stock will not be evaluated. Okay, the stock is not going to be received into your regular or your normal stock inventory. Okay, and you're going to be seeing that whenever we create the purchase order with the account assignment category K, and we are trying to receive the goods. Of course, like I said, it's not mandatory, but assuming we're going to be receiving the goods, you would notice that it would not be posted into your planned storage location inventory because the GR is non-valuated and also it's not firm. And also here you have the invoice receipt. So this invoice receipt is also giving you the opportunity to either decide how you want to make the payment. Do you want to make the payment via the purchase order where you can check the box invoice receipt or not check the box for invoice receipts? Because again, it depends on the business organization. They could have different means and different routes how they want to make this payment, okay? So you can see SAP is leaving that as blank, as not mandatory. So you can make that decision whenever you're creating the purchase order. Also, these are some important fields that are there for the account assignment category, because as you can see, this posting is made directly into finance. So you can see that optional entry here is the cost center. If the business wants you to make this particular field mandatory, you just need to select that specific radio button, but you can see most of them are hidden and just these two are on display. The deletion indicator is also optional. And you can use this icon here to page down on next page, and you can see that there's a mandatory field, which is the GL account. So your account assignment category K for cost center would require a GL account. So this again brings you to the conversations of GL account. And when we create standard purchase orders, you would notice that this is the thing that is very different with the standard purchase order. The account assignment category screen is not there because the postings are made directly into evaluated inventory. But for this one, it's posted directly into the cost center consumption posting account. All right, so now let's also have a look at some of those accounts to help you have better understanding. So we're going to go to a transaction here called OMWN. So within this transaction, you can see how the grouping works. Okay, so here you can see that the SAP system uses the value string WA01 for this specific grouping. And as you can also see here, this has your current entry as GBB for offsetting entry for inventory posting. And you can see that the account modification is also VBR. And that's what we are seeing right here. And you can see the transaction event key for string. So you can see all the different transaction keys that are applicable for this specific value string and this specific account modification. Okay, as you can see here, account modification is VBR. And if I just take one step backward, you can see that this is the grouping. Okay, this is an account grouping. I'm just giving you an example where you can see movement type 351, where the value updating is checked and the value quantity updating is also checked. And here you can see the value string and you can see GBB. And also to help you have more understanding, I can pull up one more screen. And this screen has more to do with OBYC or WM transaction. And right here, you can, or OMWB, I mean to say. So we can open up another screen here and we can go to OMWB and it will always still just take you to OBYC. So just really depend on how you want to look at it, okay? But yeah, since we already have it on the screen, I'm just going to collapse this. Okay, if I back out of this screen, you can see I'm in GBB. And you can see here that to the right-hand side of my screen, we're looking at the GBB, okay, as the transaction event key for VBR. And here also, if we go to GBB, you can see that if we scroll down to VBR, VBR is the general modification that we will need to use or we need to compare. So you can see that the VBR actually exists. And these are some of the accounts that are there. So again, it depends on the finance department, because whenever you're creating indirect material procurement, the finance department will have to provide whichever the GL accounts they want the posting to hit. Sometimes they want it to hit a COG account. Sometimes they want it to hit a direct consumption account or an expense account. So it really depends on them, right? But here in this SAP training, I have a couple of accounts that has already been defined, and we can use one of these accounts, okay? So I hope that helps you understand a little bit more with regards to the account modification of VBR and how the SAP system is making this account grouping into finance, consumption, posting, okay? So you can see your GBB over here. And of course, from the previous screen I just showed, your GBB also is sitting right here for your charts of account. And you can see all the different account modification or general modifications. So you can see the various debit or credit accounts. So again, depends on the business. If the business wants that whenever they're creating indirect material procurement, it should hit this account, then it will be their responsibility to manually enter this information, because as you can see here, the general ledger account is mandatory, so they'll have to manually enter that information into either purchase requisition or the purchase order.